Hi, welcome to the SAT, ACT
Get
video.
your act together.
A lot of what people don't realize is the SAT and the ACT aren't supposed to be tests of extreme deep advances, extreme deep knowledge in math or reading. They're all realistically as long as you have as long as you're taking a geometry class and an algebra class in high school, you should be able to answer every question on the SAT or ACT, because it never goes farther than it never goes to limits, it never goes to calc, it never goes to anything like that. So you don't have to be super stressed out about oh shit, what if I don't know this random subject, because chances are you'll know how to do every question.
Okay, let's talk about strategies for the SAT then. Do you guys have things to say?
Learn your grammar rules.
Yeah, learn grammar rules.
Knowing English is surprisingly important for the math section.
Yeah,
oh, that's true.
Yeah,
it became more word problems.
It's very important you can read fast and comprehend what it's saying really quickly, or else you're gonna get fucked on the math section.
Okay, so
at least you don't get points deducted anymore, so you guys can just
oh yeah,
fill in
guess
bubbles.
away.
Fill in bubbles and you don't have time.
So for the ACT, reading was the best section for me, and I would say the best thing to do, this applies to the SAT as well, but basically when you're reading, try to predict the questions that they're gonna ask while you're reading
so
it.
Good.
It's so nice. Underline the answers, and especially if you've taken enough practice tests, you'll know what kind of questions they ask.
You can also just look at the questions before you start reading, and then just be you know, a lot of questions will be in lines 79 to 85. Just you know, when you're reading, just pay close attention to those.
Yeah, on specific passages, there's always relationships between the main characters and the mood of the story. And there's a lot of resources online that can show you what to look out for with the reading.
Make sure to think about the big picture of any English readings that you have, because chances are the first or second question will always be what's the main purpose of this passage, or what's the main mood between these two characters, and it'll be okay,
One thing to speed up your reading, generally when I read, I use a pencil and I follow along with the pencil.
Yeah, that's useful.
Otherwise, you'll start repeating lines and start reading the same things over and over and over. So just underline or at least trace along with a pencil as you go, so that you don't keep losing your place. Test tips for the STEM parts of the test.
I would recommend just doing a lot of previous years or previous and practice tests, because realistically, math is math. There's only so many subjects they can test you on. So as long as you know, oh, you know, this word problem is just gonna be some sort of linear set of equations that you just have to solve for and substitute and all that crap. So you'll be, as long as you know what you're doing, and you've seen some form of it maybe a little differently before, you'll probably be able to you know,
about seeing the forms again, I feel taking it multiple times, it might feel like a chore, but I think my second time taking my SATs, it was a lot easier, especially because I kind of already knew the patterns of the kind of math questions they were gonna ask, and math is my weakness. So once you kind of figure out the patterns, you can just solve any problem, because it's just variations of that particular concept.
I was also just gonna add that make sure you know all the different shapes of graphs that they could give you, quadratic functions, exponential functions, all of that stuff, and just know what part of the equations influence what shape of the graph or whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Can we talk about the ACTs now?
Okay, well I have
I'm ready to do that.
never took that.
Not.
You would talk more in depth about it.
Okay.
I feel for me, ACT was better.
Yeah.
A lot better. And it's mostly just a time test. You have to redo the practice test over and over until you find a perfect timing strategy.
Okay, the science section was my worst thing, because the graphs were pretty daunting, and I had never seen the science section when I took it. So I was kind of slow on time, especially I'm not a STEM person. I've never even seen sciencey graphs. So I took it, and I got a 32, I think, on the science section. Just be fast about it. It's pretty it's logical and you can figure it out, but maybe know what graphs are before you take it.
Yeah, again, keep practicing, because once you know the layout of the test, you're good. You can only do so much to change it. Math is just it's everything's repetition, I think, because there's some natural ability, but once you keep practicing, I think you can.
Yeah, I think it's just Mostly for math, I think if you understand the big picture, then you should be fine. Like, then you can logic everything else out. I'm a big picture person when it comes to that stuff. So.
Else is on the ACT. Math, science, reading, writing. Oh, writing.
English and writing.
The English, same as SAT, just learn the rules.
It's literally just grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, make sure, obviously, your versus your.
Oh,
yeah, no, there are some people who don't know that stuff. I would also say that a big part of it is, what is it? Subject, verb agreement.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Subject, verb agreement is huge. Make sure you know, like, if neither is like a singular or a plural pronoun or whatever the hell. Is that what, that's what it's called?
Like singular and plural. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you know all of that stuff and pay really close attention to it. When you're reading, like, underline those things. And make sure you know what all the pronouns are referring to and all the antecedents and stuff.
Yeah, and also like with preposition, no phrases, like one of the pandas, one is the noun and it's singular, not pandas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, like just pay attention to the preposition.
I'm just here to fact check your grammar because grammar is my baby.
Yeah, I just kind of.
Ow. Grammar!
So SAT 2s are. I don't think Brown is mandatory for SAT 2s, right?
Most
No.
people say they're not mandatory, but like they're
it's
recommended.
So it's basically saying like if you like don't have like the financial like ability to take, or like it's like too financially demanding to take the test and like you can't get a fee waiver or something, then like it's okay like if you like don't like go like don't like make your family go like broke because like you want to take like SAT 2 Chem, like it's not worth it. Like, you can get in, like, without, like, the test.
I think it's also important that, like, you actually take the ones that you're good at. Like, I don't think it matters so much that, like, oh, you want to be well-rounded. Like, I feel like SAT 2s, there are more of the things where, like, you want a high score to supplement your application.
Basically, I feel like a good rule of thumb is to submit, like, if you get above 700 on 2 different SAT 2s, that's a good general, like, like, range for you to be in, at least for Brown and other similar level schools.
800 only. 800 or no.
Okay, maybe for math too. If
yeah,
you go into STEM,
math too. If you want to go into STEM, like math too, and like whatever like science that like is associated like with what you want to take. Like if you want to be like a chem, like if you want to become like a chemie, or like you want to like, or if you want to become like a physics major, like probably like you want to get like 790, 800 on like and 700. 790, 800 on the SAT 2 math and on the SAT 2 like other STEM course, because that'll just like it'll make you look really good basically.
Yeah, and I feel like there are certain schools that like require like specifically require
MIT.
the math one. Yeah, right? It's
Yeah. Math 2. I think MIT requires math 2 and like chem or physics.
Yeah, but if you're a humanities person like me, like just take a humanities.
Yeah, take whatever you want.
Oh yeah, that's also a thing. You have the time when you take your subject test, like which one you take first.
Yes.
Because math does drain you, because it requires like more analysis and thinking.
Important to know.
So.
Oh, also,
there's nothing you're missing.
Wait. Okay, very important. You do not like when you show up. You can actually take 3 tests. No matter what you sign up for, you can take any. And you
then
can
pay
take
for them
any
later.
number. Yeah, you
don't
can
get them
change
for free.
subjects. You can do whatever the hell you want. As long, you can't take 2 biology tests at one time though. But other than that, you can do whatever the hell you want. And the essay prompt on the ACT. Okay, wait. The essay prompt on the ACT literally makes no sense, and there's no way to format it. So like, honestly, don't even worry about it. I got such a low score.
So
you can't win.
Wait, sorry. So who took the new SAT here? Did you?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah. So for the essay for the new SAT, I hate.
That was so much.
I got like a 355. I got like 888.
I got like 999.
I'm so bad at that. Like, okay, so like, just know that even if you fuck up your essay, you'll be fine.
Honestly, yeah.
As long as you have it.
Well, the SAT essay is better than the ACT essay, but other than that,
Does Brown require an essay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
think it's most schools are like
How did I get into this college?
strongly recommended, but like that's basically like a hint
Just
at, like,
do it. Do it.
It's just like if you don't do it,
Like it doesn't hurt. I mean, like it could hurt, but like it would hurt more not doing it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is not really a technical strat for the test, but like, I guess choose the time to take the test when you're least stressed. Which is why, like, I think taking it sophomore year might be like a good idea, even though
Like towards the end of sophomore
yeah, you might
year.
not feel prepared, but like honestly, I feel like you should know everything by the time you're.
Dude.
Like even though like the material might not be like difficult to the point of like impossibility. Just like the fact that it's like timed and the fact that like it is like somewhat important is like a really stressful factor. So like make sure you just like set aside like a nice little like unstressful weekend to just take the test, because chances are it'll help you mentally like a lot.
Yeah, I think ideal times would be like after breaks, when like everything, like after midterms, after breaks, like when everything has ended and like you're just starting like fresh. I think that's the best time to take the test, because that's when I took it and that's the score I ended up taking, because I was like, wow, I didn't do shit on this. When I took my SAT2s, it was a few days after the AP exam, so it was really convenient. I feel like strategizing like when you take the SAT2s might really help you too, especially if you're already taking an AP class, because the AP test is significantly harder than the SAT2s.
Also, another fun tip is like I would like try to take the SAT2s as close as possible to the actual like class associated with it, I guess. So like, you know, like if you're taking like Chem or AP Chem in high school, like take like the SAT2s like in that same year, because then like that way, like if there's like information on the SAT2s that might not be in your class, there's a like at least you know all the other stuff, so like it's very like minimal what you actually have to learn. Like don't be like that kid who like takes like Chem freshman year and then senior year they're just like, you know what, like I'm just gonna like relearn all of Chem like and all like the extra stuff to take the SAT2s.
Oh wait, I think I just wanted to have like a final takeaway. Like I know you guys talked about how like the test scores are important, which they are. Like I don't deny that, but like at the same time, I also really want to emphasize that like it's not the bottom line. You know, it's like it's if you get a bad score, I wouldn't not apply to your dream schools, because like you never know. There's so much more to the like application, and like as important as test scores are, like your personality, your community service, whatever your extracurriculars, your essay, they like count for something too. So like don't discount whatever you have done before just because your scores are shitty.
Yeah.
Or might be shitty.
A lot of the time, they're just used to sort of not categorize you, but like, you know, they'll sort of separate it. So there's like, you know, if you get like if you get like a, you know, like an 18 and you apply to like an Ivy League, they'll probably see it and they'll be like, not so sure about that. They'll still look through the rest of your application most likely, but there's like generally they sort of see it as who they're more likely, like they think that they're gonna think more seriously about, but they still look at everything.
Like they have different piles of like not so good, good, average, and then like really good, and that's what they kind of do to prioritize your application.
That's in logical order. Not so good, good, average, really good. Like someone could conclude this video in a way that's acceptable socially.
Yeah, so those are our tips and tricks for the SAT/ACT. Please tune in again next time.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Our next video is going to be about essays, right?
Essays?
Essays? Yeah.
Essays.
Yeah.